man, iPhone 5S, iOS 11.3. Is it any faster? So what is up, guys? Nick here, back again with another video. It's the iPhone 5S. Last time we talked about this phone, I said don't buy it, and that opinion still holds true to this day. Some people are probably thinking, oh, come on, Nick, again with this phone. If you guys don't like this iPhone 5S or these videos on this phone because you just have no interest, I understand. If you want to leave the video, go right ahead. I'm not going to be mad at you. Some people on the other side are saying, hey, Ben, where has the 5S been? I need to know about that. Old boy, it's still my phone. And we have one here for you, but I'm not going to be continuing coverage. This is just one video because I'm curious to see, with all the drama that's been going on with Apple in the news and the battery life and, you know, all the pressure on them, you might think that they might fix the issues on some of their older iPhones with iOS 11.3. So we have the 5S right here, and let's go ahead and begin this with a boot up test. Let me go ahead and put this box away. And I got the iPhone 10 here to test this in 3, 2, and 1. And we're gonna see how fast this thing actually boots up. Now, I was testing it before I created this video because I wanted to have some knowledge around how it's performing, and it's not looking good. So essentially how I would, make an analogy for this phone is that I'm gonna make an analogy to cars. Have you ever, bought a used car and it was pretty good at first and then it started getting some rust? Or, you've seen a used car that has some rust, or it was good at one time and started to break down over time. You know where I'm going with this. That's basically the iPhone 5S. It feels like it was once a really good vehicle, and now it's starting to break down and show its age and stuff like that. That's the 5S for you. So you can see it finished right around 40 seconds. I was a couple seconds off, but around 40 seconds on the boot up. That's pretty much in line with what it was in my prior test, maybe a few seconds faster, but overall it's about the same. Now, one of the big things that always lagged on this phone is when we went over on initial boot up to here, and it's still doing as you've seen right there. Also, you can see that was pretty slow. Just coming back over here, you can see going up here into the control center, this sometimes would twitch. Don't see too much of a problem here. So control center looking okay. Now, what I've seen is that, when you're just scrolling along your home pages or swiping through, there's no issues. Also, the regular applications from Apple don't seem to load that slow. You can see there's just a pause and delay there on every application, but the Apple apps are pretty good still in terms of opening up. It's still definitely usable. That camera's quite slow, and burst mode takes a second, but it's still pretty fast on burst mode. Now, I do have some updates. Don't judge me. I got 42, haven't updated these apps in a while, but that should make a difference when just testing, how fast the phone is operating. And you can see the App Store just takes forever. And this is basically the case here with the phone here on 11.3. The phone, the applications, there's just a delay on pretty much everything. And specifically when you get into third-party apps, you can see it right here while we're talking. There's a delay. We're still waiting, and there it goes. Now, this is something that you just don't feel on newer iPhones. Even the iPhone SE, which it's updated to from this phone, you don't feel this. So you can see YouTube just took forever. Now, when you're actually into the application, there's also like a little bit of a pause and delay you can see within a lot of applications where you just don't see that. Like kind of right there on YouTube, there's like a little bit of a twitch. If you go into Lightroom, let's see this one. You can see just a pause and delay on every app. Now, granted, apps do have to load, but they are much faster on anything with like an A9 and above. So let's go through some multitasking now, see how it performs. And not too bad. There's a little bit of a twitch right there. When you come over to the right, you can see it happens every time right there. But just scrolling through, not too bad. Now, something I've noticed a lot about this phone in 11.3 is the battery life is pretty bad. I mean, I had this thing at 95% and I was testing it for about 10 minutes and it dropped down all the way to like 75. So it is really bad battery life on here. And another thing that's not really cool about this 11.3 update for the 5S is going into battery settings, you don't have the ability to turn off throttling here on this device. They don't have that feature on the 5S, so we don't know if Apple's throttling our 5Ss or not. On low power mode, you're gonna need this on this phone because this phone just definitely is not gonna make it through a full day, at least on 11.3. Now, if you take a look at my battery life, my health and capacity on this phone is at 96%. So if there was an issue, there's no issues with throttling if they're, you know, if you're gonna say that my battery is low and they're probably throttling that iPhone 5S, my 5S don't run like that. Stop playing, you know the 5S is slow right now. So you can see games still do load up, and okay, see, we're still waiting. This is just really the delay I'm talking about. Now, how does this matter in the real world? Some people are gonna say, what, you can't wait a second for an app to open up? Are you serious, bro? Well, the fact of the matter is, in our fast-paced lives these days, this delay can mean the difference between, you know, making an emergency phone call or not. Even messages sometimes lags. You can see it right there. And I have no messages in that app, and look at the lag. So if we go into the phone, delay, that wasn't lag on the phone, but that was a little bit of delay. And I want to let you guys know one thing. You know, you might be reading the comments down below in the YouTube section and see people saying, my 5S is good on 11.3. Don't believe this guy. I just updated. Well, I would recommend that you think about the fact that many of the people that are saying those comments are not testing all of the other iPhones on this latest version like myself. So, you know, you can take that experience of just the 5S user, or you can take that experience of somebody who's using multiple phones that can actually visually see the differences here on the device. Now, I'm rooting for this phone just like everybody else, but if it's lagging or it's slow, which it is, I have to be truthful with you, because if I'm not, I'm basically, I just wouldn't feel right. It would be like I'm lying to you guys about it. And that's just the case right here on this guy. So I would say that if you're gonna see comments of people saying it's really good, it's not, you know, they're just not being honest with themselves. That's pretty much the issues here with the 5S. It has a little bit of a twitch, it's a little bit slow, and 11.3 doesn't make it that much faster. You're not going to see too much issues when just scrolling through the home pages, but when you start to get into these applications, it's a significant slowdown enough for your eyes to actually see it. That's when I start calling it slow. When you can actually see it with your eyes pretty easily, that's a problem on the device. And granted, this phone has 1 gig of RAM, so I'm not upset with it. That's probably why A7 chipset clocked at a lower, you know, speed. The phone has got specs that don't really match what we're going to be doing here in 2018. So overall, you know, I don't like to sound negative or whatever, but I can't lie to you guys. This phone is just not performing really good, and I do not recommend doing any updates to iOS 11. iOS 11 has been a mess for most iPhones, and no, if you were wondering, does the 5S get any faster? It does not, unfortunately. It's not a great update for the 5S. Yes, it has security patches, which can help you out if you're still using this, but if you're looking for speed, you're just not going to get it here, and you're not going to get great battery life here on 11.3 either. That's what I've been seeing so far on the 5S. If you guys found this video helpful, enjoyable, entertaining, informing, do me a favor, click that like button for me. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more. And if you're looking for an update, I definitely recommend, if you don't want to pay a lot of money, to get the iPhone SE. It's still a good phone. A9 is still a lot faster than this. If you want a cheaper but bigger iPhone, take a look at the iPhone 6S. That would be a significant improvement over this device. And if you really want to go all out, you know, you want to take a look at the newer iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, that would be a significant improvement as well. Don't forget to have notifications turned on to not miss any of my upcoming updates. I will catch you all in the next one. And Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.